welcome to the quarterfinals of the Columbus Invitational. Cedric Phillips, Todd Anderson here in the booth, bringing you Jameson Perdue with blue-red control against Max McVety, mono-white humans, your number 3 and number 6 overall seed. Players are ready. Winner of this match, moving on to the semifinals, one step closer to qualifying for the Players' Championship, Pro Tour Eldritch Moon, and having their likeness on a card and that whole $10,000 thing. So.
Money in the bank.
Yes, absolutely. Blue-red control will be on the play here. Mono-white humans on the draw. Obviously, if you're playing mono-white humans, you'd rather be the higher seed, but maybe these Fever Visions being in the main deck is a way to kind of combat that and be able to steal the initiative back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fever Visions in general is a very good card, and it's not a card that was on a lot of people's radars. It is not particularly good against aggressive decks because they can actually leverage that card advantage super well by just spraying the board with a bunch more threats. Sometimes the control decks can draw too many lands and just, kind of peter out.
We got Jameson starting off here with a Magnetic Insight, discarding a Drownyard Temple. For Max, he's got a Plains, a 3-minute Spectre, gets a Clue, passes the turn back. It's not a 2-power 1-drop, but it's at least something to get the game started.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to something like Elvish Visionary, where you just want to put something on the board that can maybe cycle later. And it actually is very good at just helping you be able to use all your mana every turn, because you can choose between playing a thing or drawing a card at basically any point in the game after that.
Wandering Fumarole for Jameson. That was his second land. For Max, he's attacking for 1. Going to play a Council's Lieutenant. Simply pass the turn back. Fiery Impulse will take care of that. So a couple copies main deck of that card for Jameson.
Yeah, I do really like Fire Impulse in the deck. I like it better when Jory is in the deck, Jory and Ruin Diver, but that is not something Jameson put in his deck, instead opting for the Fever Visions, which actually looks like it might end up being pretty good here. He could have chosen instead to bring back the Drownyard Temple, to get a Goggles or something into play a little bit quicker. But if he doesn't have access to that right now, getting the Fever Visions online, drawing some cards, just trying to find things to control the board, I think is important.
This is a little risky, though, giving your opponent some more cards. And the Mono White Humans deck is the kind of deck that can just dump its hand, as we're seeing right now with Thalia's Lieutenant and Knight of the White Orchid.
Yep. He does have Chandra in hand, so as long as Max McVety does not make his creatures bigger than 4 toughness, he should be in okay shape because he can play a land this turn. Past turn, he takes a chunk. He takes, somewhere around 7 or 8 damage, depending on whether or not Max plays another creature. Gets back Drownyard Temple, plays land 6, Chandra minus.
Clear it all up.
Yeah, just get it out.
Well, we are going to head back Perdue's way for his 4th turn of the game. You saw players drawing some extra cards there because of the Fevered Visions. Again, this is a card that Perdue does have in his main deck here this weekend. Not for this matchup, obviously, for a lot of other ones. And he's elected to cast it this particular game. So let's see if this comes back to hurt him as he plays a Wandering Fumarole to start. Again, we know about the Drownyard Temple that's in the graveyard. That might be his plan this turn, as Todd had mentioned. Just take a huge punch in the face and then Chandra everything away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the way his deck is set up, that's kind of the goal. You can choose to take a lot of damage early so that you can just set up your later turns. Decks like Mono White Humans, Band Company, they don't have a lot of ways to actually punch through once you get your engine going. They have a few flash creatures, they have some tricky stuff, Avacyn and whatnot. Mono White Humans, none of that. It's just straightforward, sorcerer speed creatures, gonna just try to spray the board early, and if that's not good enough, even if he gets to draw an extra 4 or 5 cards off of the Fevered Visions, he's not going to be able to keep up with just a Chandra.
Yeah, that's one of the things right about Mono White Humans. It's kind of the trade-off. You don't have any cool instant speed effects. The humans decks don't have any creature lands, so what you see is what you get. Every turn, they're just going to play their stuff. They're going to attack you. It's as straightforward as can be. You don't have to worry about getting burned out or any of that nonsense. So if you can control what they're doing and your life total is pretty high, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, McVety here has a Thalia's Lieutenant, which actually could be big trouble for Perdue. If he gets the first Thalia's Lieutenant up to 5 toughness, the Chandra won't be able to clear it, and he's going to be able to just keep putting pressure even after the Chandra minus, or just threaten to actually just kill the Chandra.
Well, you see the first human. It's a Thalia's Inspector, so a 3-minute Inspector, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that's 1 counter on the Lieutenant. A Dragon Hunter means another counter on the Lieutenant, maybe.
Yeah, Perdue does have a Fire Impulse in hand, so it looks like he could just try to take care of the Thalia's Lieutenant in play. But until he threatens to make it a 4, ooh, this is bad here.
Yeah, Thalia's Lieutenant here.
Yeah, so he's going to get hit for, let's see, 5, 8, 12, down to 5, and that'll leave a 5/5 Thalia's Lieutenant in play, even if he Chandras.
Well, he better have a response to this. My hope is that he does. Now, keep in mind, he does have Magnetic Insight and Fiery Impulse in the graveyard, so the Fire Impulse that may or may not be in his hand does have Spell Mastery. It'll deal 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has the option here to just kill the Thalia's Lieutenant, but he's still going to take a good chunk, 4 from the Knight, 3 from the Thraben Inspector, and he's not going to be able to Chandra next turn because he doesn't have the ability to bring back the Dronyard Temple. So Perdue definitely on the back foot here, very likely going to lose this game because he's not able to get back the Chandra right away.
Well, here's a Lightning Axe discarding a Dronyard Temple, so
Perhaps I missaw.
I mean, the Thalia's Lieutenant is going to die,
Yep.
so that's a step in the right direction. But the Lieutenant that is being cast and now resolving is going to get some counters to all of his little buddies. And we'll see a pretty healthy attack here, all things told.
Yeah, it could have been a mistake actually playing the Wandering Fumarole last turn as opposed to just the Dronyard Temple as an untapped land. The fact that he needed to use his red mana to actually kill the Thalia's Lieutenant, otherwise he was just going to lose to the 5/5. He's unable to get back to Dronyard Temple. He's going to be 1 mana short of being able to cast Chandra.
Feared Visions is going to allow Max to draw. And now we're going to head back Jameson's way. Tormenting Voice is the draw. You see the life totals here, 18 and 10 in favor of McVety. And life totals are typically going to be in favor of the mono white humans player at the early stages of the game.
For sure.
Once Perdue is able to stabilize and start turning the corner, and that's one of the things that's nice about this deck, it turns the corner pretty quickly with Thing in the Ice, Awoken Horror, and Chandra.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of time, though. He's already at 10 life. McVety is threatening lethal next turn with just what he has in play, let alone if he plays a few more humans out of his hand to pump the Thalia's Lieutenant. Looks like Perdue just has a bunch of instants and sorceries that don't look like they kill creatures.
Yeah, it's got ways to draw cards, but we're getting to the point now where Chandra might just be a little too late to the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, if he can find a way to survive this turn, I think Chandra has a very good chance of just winning the game by itself. But it's going to be tricky. He definitely needs to hit at least 1 removal spell here, maybe 2.
Well, Jameson started by playing a land. I think we might see a Tormenting Voice here, perhaps. He's got a few options in his hand. Looks like he's going to start with Tormenting Voice, discard another Dronyard Temple. Now 2 cards are on the way. One of them is a Dronyard Temple, and the other one may have been a Chandra, though fairly sure he's had that in his hand for some time, and that's been kind of the game plan.
I think it was a Fall of the Titans. That could be interesting. He can kill 2 creatures, namely the Dragon Hunter and the Thalia's Lieutenant. That leaves 9 power in play, I believe, if that is the card.
Yeah, that does leave exactly 9 power in play. You got a 4/4 Knight of the White Orchid, a 3/4 Thraben Inspector, and then a 2/3 Thraben Inspector. But it's just going to be a Thing in the Ice right now. 4 ice counters. Fevered Visions. I don't like this spot here for Jameson. Does not look to be good news. McVety going to untap all those creatures. He'll draw a card.
I'm having nightmarish flashbacks. I don't.
Is this like Baltimore all over again?
Yeah.
And now, okay, Stasis Snare will work just fine. I thought it might be an Always Watching. Whatever a 3-mana spell was going to be, it was going to be good.
Yeah, if he kills the Knight of the White Orchid with, I guess, a Lightning Axe, if that is a card in his hand.
Council's Lieutenant now.
Yeah, it's going to be a little too much, too fast.
Max McVety going to win game number 1 here over Jameson Perdue. Mono white humans up a game over blue-red control. Now, do remember, it is best of 5, not best of 3. So sideboarding is going to be very important. But what's important right now is that Max is able to break serve. He wins game 1 on the draw.
Yeah, and I think that was actually one of the games I was expecting Jameson to just lose because of the card Fevered Visions.
Okay.
I guarantee you it's not going to be in his deck.
No, I think it's probably the first card to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is very good against mid-range control and control decks. Very bad, I think, against decks that can empty their hand pretty easily. And, any sort of creature-based aggressive deck is going to do that very well. You're trying to 1-for-1 until you get the engine online. That game, he was just a turn behind being able to cast the Chandra. Didn't leverage his mana well enough. I think playing the Wandering Fumarole actually cost him that game.
Well, to the sideboards is where we are going to go, and we are going to start with Jameson Perdue as he'll be on the plate. So he's got 3 Sphinxes, 2 Tutelage, 2 Dispel, 3 Kozilek's Return, 3 Negate, 2 Rending Volley, a Void Shatter, and a Rise from the Tides. Todd, if you're in James's seat, what do you like here and why?
I'm going to go with removal.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah, Kozilek's Return X3, Rending Volley X2. Kozilek's Return could end up being not good enough if a couple of Thalia's Lieutenants are able to hit the battlefield and pump the creatures above 2 toughness. But it is something that I think the blue-red control deck just needs in general in order to help stabilize the early turns of the game. If you're able to pick up a 2-for-1, if you're able to pick up even a 3-for-1 off of a Kozilek's return, it's backbreaking for the mono-white humans deck because they don't really have a lot of really big follow-ups. It would be different if he had a ton of really expensive stuff to bring in, like if he was bringing in stuff like Archangel Avacyn, more or just some copies of Gideon or more copies of Gideon, something like that. It would be a little less devastating. But I think Kozilek's turn is going to be very good. Ridding Volley is just another cheap 1-mana removal spell to help stem the bleeding early so that he can try to, set up his engine before he gets, overwhelmed.
Yeah. Like we saw in game number 1 for Max McVety, 3 Archangel Ties, 3 Hanaware Militia Captain, 3 Silk Reps, 2 Eerie Interludes, 2 Hollowed Moonlight, a Stasis Snare, and a Hidden Dragon Slayer. You're a blue-red control player, so any of these sideboard cards scare you?
Yeah, I think Eerie Interlude is probably the scariest card here in the sideboard. And, just now noticing this, I think Perdue may actually bring in Negate.
Okay.
Or Dispel. Probably not. It is not great, right? But the card Eerie Interlude will just stop an entire sweeper. Like, it can just annihilate you if you try to Chandra Minus and they go Eerie Interlude.
Yeah, you just lose immediately, probably.
Yeah. And all the humans come back in and play at the same time. Stala's Lieutenant still gets all the counters back.
True.
Puts all the counters back on the guys.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a great card. I don't foresee him bringing in much else. He may be a little afraid of Thing in the Ice and bringing the Silk Wraps, but honestly, from the blue-red side, I very rarely win with Thing in the Ice against a deck like mono-white humans or anything really that has like Declaration in Stone. He doesn't have access to the Reflector Mages, and if he brings in the Silk Wraps, he basically has like 7 removal spells that can really mess with it.
Okay.
Maybe the Hidden Dragon Slayer. These are all options, but I think the Eerie Interlude is the only card that I really, really want from the white side.
Well, that'll give you an idea what both players are working with. So they'll shuffle up and get ready here for game number 2. Jameson Perdue will be on the play. In the meantime, we will talk about what these players are playing for here as we are in the elimination rounds of our Columbus Invitational. You see top 8, at least $1,500 these players are walking away with. First place, that's the big one, $10,000, 50 SCG points, an invite to one of our next Invitationals, and a whole bunch more as you'll find out in just a moment.
Yeah, I just want to say, sorry.
No, you're fine. Say what you want to say.
50 points is unreal.
That's a lot.
I've played so many tournaments this quarter, and I have like 90.
You spike an Invitational, and the biggest one ever behind us, that's a lot of points. You also get some other cool stuff like an invite to the Players' Championship, an invite to the Pro Tour. That'll be Pro Tour Eldritch Moon, a personalized token with your likeness on it. For the SCG Opens, you're going to get a buy and free entry, and then you'll get free entry into Classics as well. So if you're an Invitational champion, you rock, you roll, and you get a bunch of awesome, cool stuff to go along with it.
Dude,
so.
I love all this stuff.
Me too. It makes for some really fun tournaments.
Yeah, when they announced that the Invitationals now are going to give away a Pro Tour invite, it just made me like I already wanted to win one, like another one.
Yep.
But I just want one so bad now.
You want to be in the 2 camp, don't you?
So bad.
You want to join Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
And plus, you got to get another
Tom
token.
and Jerry show.
And
Todd.
You got to get another token now. So this is gonna be interesting because whoever wins this tournament, we're pretty sure they're gonna select the Clue token. At least they should.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get a clue.
Yeah, if they want to get as much play as possible. What would you select? Would you be a Clue token or something else?
Oh, yeah. I would be Inspector Gadget Todd.
Ooh, nice.
Just do.
A Mountaineer for Perdue. A 1-drop probably from Max. Yep, there it is. It's a 3-man Inspector. Fire Impulse is going to take that down right away.
Just no nonsense. Kill everything. 1-2, get it out immediately.
And are you okay with that?
It depends on his hand, but yeah, sure. You just want to make sure that he doesn't have any traction. If he goes, Thali's Lieutenant that turn, attacks for 2, can't block with the Jace, you're already pretty far behind. Sure, you can kill Thali's Lieutenant, but now you have a real creature in front of you, beating you down.
You just got to get everything off the board, and actually Max is going to kind of take that role, get the Jace off the battlefield. We were curious if he was going to bring in Silk Wrap or not. The answer is clearly yes.
Sure did.
A Knight of the White Orchid is going to search up a Plains here, and we'll see if Max has another land to play and maybe another creature to play, but it's a good start here from McVety again.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about mono-white humans. It's very consistent. You're not adding another color, so none of your lands come into play tapped, which is fantastic. If you can actually lower the land count significantly so that Knight of the White Orchid will almost always get a land.
Yep.
And, you can always catch back up if you start to fall a little bit behind.
I know that Max has got 20 lands in his deck, 20 plains. Rumor has it, the boss, T. Ross, I think he's got 18.
He does, and regularly sides a plains out on the draw. I watched him do it. He's a psycho. He went 9-0 in day one of the Open with he calls it Boss Humans, playing Anointer of Champions as his extra 1-drops.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I know he was not happy with the deck that he played in the Invitational, not like the white-green humans deck he played, but the mono-white version that he's playing right now, it appears as though Boss Humans is destroying the Open. I do like that Tom just decides to put Boss in front of whatever deck he's playing.
Dude,
He's just made his own Boss white-black mid-range.
gotta promote, man.
Yeah.
Gotta promote.
We will see Max sacrifice a clue. He's going to draw a card.
Yeah, McVety here actually playing around Kozilek's return. I think he has a Thales Lieutenant that he could have played, but that just opens him up to just get annihilated by a Kozilek's return. And he knows Perdue has access to 3 of those after sideboard, and it is one of his better tools in interacting with the human deck in the early turns.
He picked up a copy of Eerie Interlude, I believe, off of the clue. So let me ask you a question as Perdue takes his turn. You know, if you're a mono-white humans player, are you supposed to try to play around stuff like this, or you just say jam, jam, jam? If you have it, cool. If you don't, awesome. Is it worth just jamming all the time? Like, are you scared if a humans player, like, let me ask you this, on the blue-red control side, are you hoping that maybe your humans player kind of, like, balances their threats, or are you more scared if they just go, like, everything always?
Oh, if they go everything always, I'm terrified.
Okay.
But not when I have it.
Sure.
So
sure.
It's a coin flip. I know. It's like the people who play Show and Tell and Legacy. It's like, yeah, the people who win the most are usually the ones who just jam it.
Yeah.
And the ones who lose are the ones who, like, try to find the second copy of Force of Will so that their first Show and Tell resolves.
Yep.
You know, just kind of forgetting the fact that you could just find another Show and Tell.
Yeah.
So
That's
mono white deck could just draw more creatures.
That's what I always wonder, right? Because, like, he's kind of walking the tightrope now. It's like, I could have played Thales Lieutenant, but then if you have Kozilek's return, all my stuff dies. So I'm going to, like, leave this mana up and kind of balance my threats. But that gives you, as a blue-red control player, maybe a little more time to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the joke here is that McVety actually has an Eerie Interlude in hand.
Yep.
And so really he just wants to make sure that if he's going to play another creature, he's going to be able to, play that. And last turn he cracked a clue, which may have been the Thales Lieutenant that he drew off the clue. I didn't get to see his actual draw. But, I think he's playing pretty smart. You don't want to overextend into a Chandra. You don't want to overextend into a Kozilek's return. You're not really under any pressure at the moment. Now, once he gets like a Goggles online or something like that, then you just have to go hard and pray. But at the moment, it seems like Jameson is having kind of a lackluster start.
Yeah, he's actually firing up the old Wandering Ephemeral here to try to block, it looks like. So looks like he's going to block the Knight of the White Orchid with the 1/4. Obviously can't flip it because First Strike would kill it. So not a great idea there, but the block's going to work out just fine. Now, again, I'm interested to see if Max is going to deploy more threats to the board. Well, that answers that question, Archangel of Tithes. Now, normally we don't see this card all that much as there's a Lightning Axe to take it down. Are you scared of that card as blue-red control?
So I want to point out, negate, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I mean, I think Archangel of Ties is actually pretty good against blue-red. Basically, it's Lightning Axe or bust.
Okay.
Doesn't get hit with Kozilek's Return or Chandra minus. I mean, sometimes I guess you could combo kill it with like Kozilek's Return, Fire Impulse, or whatever. But a big body, I think the games are going to go long-ish just based on all the removal on both sides. Or not both. I mean, both sides have access to ways to, I guess, take care of the other one's threats. Other than Chandra, you just basically have to attack it. That's it.
Max is going to reload here. He's got another Archangel of Ties and a Hanawir Militia Captain. So he's brought in quite a few cards from his sideboard. The 3/5 flyer, of course, as Todd did mention. You got to kill a Lightning Axe, or you really have some difficulty killing unless the goggles are online. You're doing all your broken stuff, and then you're probably winning anyway.
Yeah, this is actually the best Chandra Zero deck I have even considered playing. And here we see Jameson actually activating that ability, discarding his hand and then drawing one extra card after that.
Yeah,
and
looks like one of them is going to be a Fiery Temper, I believe.
Yeah, so the way this works actually is kind of weird. So he goes 0.
Okay.
The trigger from Fiery Temper goes on the stack. Then he draws his cards.
Okay.
And then he pays for the Fiery Temper. So in a matchup where your opponent could have access to like Dispel or something like that, you actually get to look at your hand, like your new hand, before you actually cast the Fiery Temper.
So you don't have to pay the red if you don't want to.
Correct.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is really cool. Madness has always been one of my favorite mechanics. I played a lot of Blue-Green Madness back in the day, and yeah, it's great.
So you saw another Fiery Temper come down. That's going to take care of the Archangel of Ties. So 2 of them will take care of 1 creature. A Jace, and now just a pass. So we head back Max McVety's way. He's trying to keep the pressure on. Though if you take a look at Jameson's life total, 16's a lot.
Yeah, 16 is a lot, but he doesn't really have a ton of action right now. This Handwear is about to kill Chandra, And that's going to leave Jameson Perdue with just like 1 card in hand versus Max McVety's 2/2 and a handful of spells.
What's the follow-up?
Always watching.
Yes.
Sometimes watching?
No, always watching.
Except against Dramoka's command.
Another Wandering Fumarole here from Perdue, and we're going to head back Max's way. Max is doing a pretty nice job this game, as there's Athalia's Lieutenant looking to bolster that Militia Captain. That's going to work out just fine.
Yeah, I mean, with always watching now, the Militia Captain, 3 toughness, Kozilek's Return no longer a threat. I think it's okay to actually just deploy another creature if you have it. A Kozilek's Return still could 2-for-1 you, but I think you want to try to get the Athalia's Lieutenant up above range of dying to Kozilek's Return as quickly as possible.
For Perdue, we head his way. Looks like he's in some trouble this game. His Chandra's been taken care of. That Jace that he found off of the Chandra, that's gone too. The other interesting thing here as well is with Max's build, and we saw this when he played yesterday a little bit. You know, he's playing mono white humans, and the question is how much removal are you supposed to side into, because we know he's got Stasis Snare, he's got Silk Wrap, he's got all this removal. Sometimes you could actually just draw too much removal, and then that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd be fine just cutting some of the 1 toughness creatures when you're on the draw, and just going a little bit bigger with, you know, these Archangel of Tithes, and just having Stasis Snare, Silk Wrap, Declaration Stone in your deck, because you don't want to lose a thing in the ice, you don't want to lose to Jace, and you want your creatures to, once you have Always Watching or you resolve Athalia's Lieutenant, you want them all to be able to survive Kozilek's Return. So that is a pretty good sideboard plan, I think, on the draw. Going a little bit bigger, making sure that you're not as vulnerable to removal spells, because, you know, it doesn't actually matter like how much power your creatures have. It actually matters way more how much toughness they have, because Perdue doesn't block.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I mean, he's going to get the job done one way or another if he plays like 2 or 3 creatures, as long as they stay on the board.
Well, they're on the board right now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You saw Perdue take a look at the Hanaware Militia Captain. Don't see it a lot, mostly a sideboard card, but he has brought it in here, and it's starting to play a little bit of role in things. He's got 2 of them out there. I think he needs 1 more creature to be able to transform it. Then he starts cranking out even more threats. But right now his creatures, you mentioned toughness, they've got a pretty good sized toughness right now. We do get a quick update on our other match. We'll let you know that James Wager with Big White. Oh, Big White up a game right now over Andrew Main and his green-white token stack.
I just want to say one thing, if I may.
Which you can.
You called my deck Blue-Red Control.
I did.
And you're calling that deck Big White.
Yep.
That's not fair. Give me blue-red goggles. Just give me something.
Life's not fair, man. Got to make tough decisions.
Yeah. So here it looks like Perdue actually had a Fiery Temper in hand, drew Tormenting Voice for the turn. This is one of the sicker combos that the deck can assemble, usually earlier in the game, to create a little bit of velocity while also taking care of a problematic threat from the opponent. Here it looks like he is Fiery Tempering, I want to say the 3/3, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the new one?
Yeah. So I think we actually have it backwards there as far as how those 2 cards resolve together. So we may want to check in on that. But basically, you have to discard as additional cost a Tormenting Voice. So you actually have to pay the Madness cost and cast the Madness spell before the Tormenting Voice resolves. As long as we can get the judge checked in on that to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. Because Jameson Perdue could have drawn like a Negate or a Dispel to interact with something that McVety could have done in response.
Sure, so with Tormenting Voice is additional cost to discard, and then you discard your Fiery Temper and you pay then. For Chandra, it's discard all at once, draw your cards, then pay.
Right. So there's a little bit of counterintuitiveness there, but I think overall it's harmless, obviously, but it is something that could potentially matter.
Now, one of the things you're finding here is that Max is not attacking because of the Wandering Fumaroles. He does not want to trade with any of these. So as a result, he's just kind of waiting to draw some more humans to actually make his army a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it looks like Max just kind of ran out of gas. Perdue has a couple of copies of Wandering Fumarole threatening to trade. Max doesn't want to, push his guys into the combat zone, messing with those Wandering Fumaroles, because Perdue's not really using all of his mana every turn. So if he's letting him trade Wandering Fumaroles, I think that is really bad for McVety and really good for Perdue.
And fortunately for Max, he can kind of play the game this way because he's got the Eerie Interlude, right? So if Jameson puts together a turn where he can kill all of Max's creatures, Max can say, I'll save them, and everything's okay, assuming, of course, that Perdue does not have a Dispel or a Negate. So
yeah, McVety has had his hand on the table for quite a while. I would like to know if he actually does have Eerie Interlude. That was just something that I thought he might have.
He has one in hand.
All right, great.
And he's got plenty of lands to work with.
Good to know. Yeah, Knight of the White Orchid will do that.
Now the White Orchid does come down. Thalia's Lieutenant gets a little bit bigger. He's got 2 counters, plus 1 power and toughness, given its original stats, plus always watching. So it's a 4-4 right now. But I think that McVety is waiting until it's a 5-5 along with the rest of his creatures to be able to get into the red zone.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Perdue has a Thing in the Ice in hand.
Okay.
And he could have played it last turn, but that would actually make it so that all the creatures on McVety's side could just attack without any fear. So he waited 1 turn, which is a heads-up play, so he could still threaten to block with Wandering Fumarole. Now he can play Thing in the Ice and then still also potentially block with Fumarole.
He could also play Thing in the Ice and now play the card he just drew for the turn, which is Fall of the Titans.
Yeah, that's a pretty big draw there. Fall of the Titans is a phenomenal card in this style of deck. You just have so many cheap cards, and it's almost always going to be a 2-for-1, and alongside Pyromancer's Goggles, it usually just ends the game on the spot, or at least puts the game too far out of reach for your opponent to come back, generally killing 2 creatures and dealing them approximately 10 to 15 damage. Or I guess not 15. 15 is kind of hard.
You haven't dealt 15 yet?
You can't.
What? I guess it's got to be even.
It's got to be even.
All right, fine, 16 damage. Yeah. Here's another Thing in the Ice.
2 things and 2 blocks of ice. I think the Fall of the Titans in hand. I think he has a Fire Impulse as well.
Okay.
So he actually looks pretty well set up. I would have liked there for him to maybe bait out the Eerie Interlude by just like casting Fire Impulse. And then, maybe McVety uses the Interlude to save the creature because he's kind of running out of steam. But, it's fine. I think Perdue is in okay shape, but this could spiral out of control if McVety, just uses the Eerie Interlude to save 2 of his creatures from Fall of the Titans.
Yeah, this game is kind of in a weird balance right now. Because what's Max going to do now? Okay, so he's got another Archangel.
Yeah.
With Always Watching combo, as we know.
Is it a combo?
It's kind of a combo.
I feel like it's just stuff. It's just 2 things that it's synergy. I think synergy is better.
So one of the things we do here in the booth is we loosely use the definition of combo. So,
Okay.
A plains plus a 1-drop combo.
Thing in the Ice plus 4 instants and sorceries?
Combo.
That's a lot of instants and sorceries. I guess that actually is way more combo-ish.
Yeah, that's just a combo right there. Archangel Time's Always Watching, definitely a combo. It's a 4/6 right now as well, so it's out of Lightning Axe range, which is a pretty big deal. Also, it flies, which is a pretty big deal. So not a bad draw.
Yeah.
Not a bad draw.
Perdue here really looking for something like Pyromancer's Goggles to really up the ante. If he just lets Max McVety just keep drawing a card every turn, finding more creatures, eventually he's just going to have to go for something. Like he's going to have to go for the Fall of the Titans. He's going to have to go for just a big removal spell or a big turn, and he could just get blown out by Eerie Interlude.
Perdue, after playing a Highland Lake, does he have anything else that he wants to do this turn? Again, remember, he's sitting there on that Fall of the Titans.
Ooh, it was just a Lightning Axe.
Oh, never mind. I take it back.
All right, so we triggered these Things in the Ice. Okay, yeah, Lightning Axe. So I play with old Fiery Tempers and old Lightning Axes.
Okay.
Just because I always want to know what they are in my hand, and like a lot of the red spells are just costed similarly or kind of look the same.
Okay.
Like Fiery Temper and Lightning Axe are just like giant fireball thingies on the front of them. And but the old art, stands out. The madness, specifically off of the Fire Temper, just looks really cool on the old frame to me.
Yeah.
Just
harken
back to the old days.
Angry creature, that angry devil creature burning something on the old one, which I actually like.
Not really sure what is going on right now. I guess he missed.
Well, Lightning Axe is targeting Thalia's Lieutenant.
Sure. I'm not sure if Thing in the Ice triggers are on the stack still.
I imagine they are.
Sure.
Here's Eerie Interlude. Aha. And Jameson's hand's empty, so this Eerie Interlude's actually going to be pretty good, I believe.
Yeah, so these creatures are going to get exiled. The Things in the Ice are going to go down to 3 counters, but Jameson has no cards in hand.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Eerie Interlude will bring those creatures back soon enough.
Yeah, so actually I think Jameson did this during the end step. Mm-hmm. This is a super heads-up play. So cards like Eerie Interlude say at the beginning of the next end step they come back. So even though he used it to save his creature from the Lightning Axe, as well as blink out the rest or whatever, they don't come back until the next end step, so he wasn't able to attack with them that turn. So pretty big play there by Jameson Perdue. Not sure if it's going to be enough, but we'll see.
For McVety, he plays another Always Watching, going to come across for 5 in the air. Perdue will fall down to 11. He's got that Eerie Interlude trigger coming, which is going to bring all the creatures back. So here they come. Thalia's Lieutenant's going to bolster quite a few of them as well, so this will be pretty unique.
Yep.
And Thayus Lieutenant will also get bolstered. So, hey, all the counters are coming here in just a moment.
Yeah, it's really cool. Eerie Interlude plus Thales Lieutenant, it literally just resets, depending if your Thales Lieutenants are still there or not.
Plains here from Knight of the White Orchid. And now we're going to head back Perdue's way. He needs a big draw right now.
The problem here is that a lot of his cards that could draw him into the big draws, he needs another card in hand. And he played a Highland Falls, or Highland Lake, excuse me, 2 turns ago, I think, or maybe it was just last turn. And so now he's stuck with just 1 card in hand. So if he drew a Magmatic Insight or Tormenting Voice, he actually can't do anything with it.
Here's Militia Captain. It's going to transform at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control 4 more creatures, you get to transform the Militia Captain. That's exactly what's going to happen. We take a look at the other side. It's the Westvale Cult Leader. Its power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. So it's a 4/4, but actually a 6/6 because of Always Watching. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token onto the battlefield. Keep in mind those cleric human tokens will not be helped by Always Watching, as that is non-token.
I don't think they need it.
I don't think so right now either.
I'm gonna make a joke real quick, if that's okay. A topical joke.
It's a risk, but go for it.
Westfall Cult Leader. Is that the guy who put Kimmy Schmidt in the bunker?
See, I didn't watch Kimmy Schmidt, so
It's
I don't
so
know.
good.
I've never seen it.
New season just came out. They should pay me. Netflix. Come on, ship it.
Netflix definitely needs a little help. I'm so glad you're here to help them.
Yeah, man.
For people who are unfamiliar with Netflix that don't exist.
I'm sure there's like a guy somewhere.
Yeah. In the bunker. Silkraft
Yeah.
here. Gonna take care of a thing in the ice.
Yeah, man. Kimmy Schmidt, all she's got is Tamagotchi. She don't know what Netflix is.
And we're going to see some pretty healthy attacks here, I think, in just a moment. I think that Jameson is in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, I think he's been behind most of this game, and McVety's actually been playing it very well, very close to the vest, trying to make sure that Perdue gets the least value out of all of his removal spells, all of his sweeper-type things as possible. And that's put him in a position now where he's got 4 very large creatures just kind of running into Fumarole and Thing in the Ice and just nothing, like no threat. There's no threat.
What are we going to have here? They're going to pay to block, so
Yeah.
Jameson has plenty of lands.
It's time to pay the price.
Yep. And, it was interesting to me at the early stages of this game, I guess in the mid-game, honestly, where Max had those 2 creatures that he was not willing to trade with Wandering Fumarole. The thought process might be, if you leave those out there, those things could just die to Chandra or something else, so you might as well at least trade with Wandering Fumaroles, and those will be gone. That's less lands for Jameson, all that jazz. But he was patient. Now those creatures are beating Wandering Fumarole in combat. Now Max has got an insane board, and Jameson might not have any outs.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of icing on the cake here with the 1/1 from the Westfall Cult Leader. But, just bringing Kimmy into play.
Yeah, as the 1/1 should be a Kimmy token, as we have Max McVety.
All right, no more of that.
Winning the Jameson, this game against Jameson Perdue. He's up 2-0. We got to play best of 5, of course, not best of 3. So Mono White Humans up 2 games over Blue Under Control. This is bad shape here for Jameson. We'll take a look at the sideboards here yet again. Now, you had a feeling that you would see a little counterspell action. You knew we'd see Rending Volley. You see Kozilek's Return. Nothing really changes, right?
Yeah, I think it's same stuff. I do actually like the negates. There are a reasonable amount of removal spells coming out of Max McVety's deck after board. We saw Silk Wrap. We saw Stasis Snare. I did not see a Declaration of Stone, though, so maybe those are no longer in his deck?
That's possible, I think.
It is just strictly worse.
Right, yeah, like you're not going to lose the enchantments, and then giving him a clue, well, that's not good.
I love it when people Declaration and Stone my creatures when I'm playing Blue-Red Control. Because people are like, Thing in the Ice, Jace, these are like the backbone of the deck, right? They kind of make the deck tick. No, they're distractions. You just play these things and your opponent's like, oh crap, I have to kill that, or else it's going to take over the game. And they're not wrong. But you spent 2 mana for a thing that's threatening to take over a game. And while they're dealing with your creature, they're not playing their own creatures.
That's true.
That gives you another turn. Find Draw Near a Temple, get it back into play, put your goggles online. This is why I play 3 goggles also. 2 games in a row. James Perdue, no goggles.
No goggles. Are you thinking about maybe playing a 4th one?
Oof.
Have you considered it? That's a lot of those.
It is a lot.
You get to discard them.
I mean, yeah, that's like, in Legacy, you have Brainstorm. You can play all these bad one-of bullets because you can just brainstorm them away.
That's why I play bad blue cards sometimes. Just losing a Force Will.
Exactly.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
See, you have 8 ways to get rid of your really bad card.
Yep.
But also all of your extra lands you're going to draw every game off of the Brainstorm.
That's true.
Yeah, so similar thing. You can't play too many really expensive things. A lot of people want to play 3 Goggles and 3 Chandra. I would not recommend that main deck. I think you want just game 1 to be super streamlined with all of your spells. And then post-board, you want to make sure that you have access to all the tools necessary to interact with whatever deck you're playing against.
Well, that'll give you an idea of how to kind of approach the matchup and how to approach blue-red controls. Game number 3 will be underway here in just a moment between Perdue and McVety. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the StarCityGames.com newsletter. It is your source for Magic Gathering news, where you can get the latest on the SCG Tour. Watch the SCG Tour match of the week. You have to imagine it's going to be one of these matches of the elimination rounds. Receive exclusive deck list and advice from some of Star City's finest columnists. Catch up on all the event results and, of course, read an exclusive cardboard crack comic. Best of all, it's free to sign up for. Go.StarCityGames.com/newsletter. Sign up today. And like I said, it's free.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm on the screen right now. Classic and Modern. You see that? Or the Modern Classic?
Yeah, you did win a Modern Classic.
Yeah, that was with Teamer Box. Just want to point that one out.
So, as we get ready here for Game 3, give us an idea what's in Teamer Box.
So basically, everything that would ever have been in Teamer Twin.
Okay.
Except now I just moved the twins out.
Okay, I guess you can't play them anymore.
No, but I still have Pestermite in there. Just to put the Fear of God in them.
That you have Kiki Jiki?
Yeah.
All right.
Just in case I want to pull that one out.
Okay.
Traverse the Uvenwald might go in there as well.
Oh, I can search
that way
for the
I
Kiki
can search
Jiki.
for the Kiki Jiki.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, okay, so, I mean, I can just name some stuff.
Well, that's what the deck is. There's your stuff in there.
It's just stuff. It's a box of stuff.
What's the most outrageous card in your Teamer Box deck?
Wow. Like Electrickery?
Because I'm kind of digging the Traverse the Uvenwald.
Yeah, I don't have those yet, though. I haven't bought them. I should. I've only been playing blue-red goggles, though. That's the only cards I've bought from the new set so far.
Okay, all right.
That's my B.
You're going to be playing that one for a little while?
Yeah. So the thing about the Teamer Box, though, for me, is that there aren't ridiculous cards, right?
Okay.
They are just weird cards. There's a lot of just, like, things that I have ever played in a Teamer deck are just in this box that's, I don't know, probably like a 500 count.
Okay.
I also have like 8 or 9 Steam Vents for no reason, just because they were in both 2 different standard formats, and I just had old ones, and then I drafted a bunch and got like 5 more new ones.
Okay, sure. Sure. Have you considered maybe something like a Shamble Shark?
No.
Can we get one of those in there? Look, there's a lot of like medium blue-green cards, like one Simic Charm. Right?
I actually would like a Simic Charm in the Teamer Box, but it is lost somewhere in my collection, and I keep forgetting about it.
Is it too deep in the box?
Oh, no, it's in a different box.
Oh, different box, not the Teamer
box.
Box.
Not the Teamer Box.
Quick update for you guys on our other match. If we have time to jump that way, we will, but James Wager is trying to make it so that we cannot do that. Big White up 2-0 over Green-White Tokens.
I feel like I'm going to lose my pick. I thought Green-White Tokens was going to be heavily favored post-board, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe the big flyers from Wager just too much?
Yeah, that was the thing that we felt would happen. We discussed in the pregame show. Archangel Avacyn, really good Magic card, and there's a lot of those in the big white deck, so perhaps flying over for the W is what's getting the job done there for James Wager. We're going to see a lot of that card soon enough. It looks like Jameson's going to take a mulligan. Max is going to take a look at his opening hand.
That's not where you want to start down 2 games in the quarterfinals of the Invitational.
No.
Mulligan's tough, but the blue-red deck does mulligan pretty well. You know, you have a lot of card selection early with Tormenting Voice and Magmatic Insight. These cards are, they're not traditional card advantage. You can kind of leverage them with Fire Temper or with Drowned Temple to regain the lost card from the mulligan.
Okay.
But, once you start, like, having to discard real cards to Lightning Axe, if you're, a little light on land, you can't really cast Magmatic Insight. So a lot of things can go wrong. But I think the deck, you do have a lot of really cheap spells, so you can afford to keep a land that's like 2 land, 4 spells, 3 land, 3 spells, no matter what they are, especially with a Scry.
Okay.
Very similar to like Jeskai Black in that nature, where you could survive the first like 5 or 6 turns just stuck on 3 lands, as long as you eventually hit your like 4th, 5th land. That way you could start casting 2 or 3 spells a turn, just based on that. This deck very similar to Jeskai Black in that way.
Looks like Jameson's going to keep the 6 cards. He's going to start things off with a mountain. We head Max's way. He's got a couple of planes.
I wonder what he's going to play on turn 1. Is it a 1-drop creature?
Great guess.
Yeah.
The Town Gossip Monger.
Dude. We have played a lot of this new standard format. We played it for about 2 weeks. Right after all the spoiler was out, we were just like building decks and stuff. And there were a few cards we missed, and Gossipmonger was one of them. But after last week's results and some people were playing Gossipmonger, it has just been great.
Gossmonger's really good.
Yeah, it flips super fast. Ooh, two clues? 2 clues?
Yeah, 2 clues, but hey, a close like return is going to take care of 2 inspectors.
Yeah, I don't love that play. I would have liked to at least try to bait him to get 1 more creature out, but the threat of Eerie Interlude to make 2 more clue tokens and save your 2 creatures actually is pretty bad.
Tormenting Voice can discard Draw on your temple. Look at all that value as 2 cards are on the way.
Yep. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, finally a Goggles.
The fabled Goggles. They do exist.
A Shivan Wreath, and we're going to head Max's way. They are in the deck. It's like the M&M's commercial.
Yeah.
They do exist.
That was the joke. I don't just reference things.
Don't you?
I mean, I do just reference things. I don't know.
Here's a Town Gossipmonger. This one's a little bit bigger because of the always watching.
Yeah.
Now we're going to head Perdue's way. He's got the goggles in hand.
Oh, it looks like we drew Magmatic Insight too, and we have a land in hand, I believe. Or
well, he's going to have it.
Oh, no land.
No. Oh, no, Todd's sad.
No. All right.
The goggles may not exist.
Yeah. So he does have the Drown Air Temple in the graveyard, so he can play it next turn, and he's at 20 life still. He's in pretty good shape here considering his start. You know, he did go kill your 1-drop into close extra turn, both your creatures on turn 3. You know, there were 2 clue tokens made from the Thraben Inspectors, so McVety going to be able to basically rebuy the cards that he lost from the close extra turn and actually gain 1. But yeah, 2 always watching, pretty bad news, I think. Basically, you just don't want any of their creatures to be able to get above 4 toughness.
Okay.
Once any creature is above 4 toughness, Chandra no longer deals with them, and that's bad.
Kozilek's Return is going to have to trade there with the Gossipmonger. The follow-up is a Thraben Inspector. That's a 3/3. Pass the turn back. Perdue will draw.
Looks like a Fiery Temper. Not a ton to do with it.
I'm just going to get that thing off the battlefield right now.
Just cast it. Take 1 from the Shivan Reef there.
Yep.
First damage, first blood.
Yeah, oddly enough, Max has not gotten any damage across with the creatures just yet.
Dude, they just got hammered.
Yeah. Is it time to maybe crack a clue? Yes. Draw a card. Planes. Uh-oh.
There she is.
Yeah, that's a big Archangel.
Miss America.
Yeah. 5/7. All right. There's a Goggles. So it's down. Now, you know, some powered Fall of the Titans. Oh, no. Another always watching.
Basically, Lightning Axe. It's what, an 8 toughness now?
Yeah, it's gotta be Lightning Axe or Fall of the Titans, right? That's it.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, and the captain too. Jeez.
Always watching is very good.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because sometimes I feel like you don't want to draw multiples, but there are some games where you draw a couple like this, and life is really good.
Yeah.
Because your creatures are gigantic.
Yeah. So he's got Drown Air Temple chilling in the grave. He can get it back. Maybe flip Jace. You know, he's taking a chunk here. That's 9, 10? 10 damage?
Yeah, it's 10.
11? 11 damage. A 6/9 and a 5/5.
Yeah, okay, 11. We're bad at math,
So
but we got there.
I figured it out. I'm on top of it.
All right, Temple back. Chandra's not out right now. Is Perdue's going to fall down to 2. You're going to have to find a Lightning Axe.
This loot's got to be real good. Yeah, he hasn't cast an axe yet, so the Jace can't quite deal with the Archangel of Ties. If he can draw a Lightning Axe, maybe he's able to get out of this. It's tough. He might have to use Goggles with Magmatic Insight to pitch a land and draw 4 to try to find like a lot of things to interact with this board. But at the moment, he's in a lot of trouble.
Jameson's got to be in the tank here. Because also, I think one of the things he wants to do is he wants to be able to block the Militia Captain with Jace and then activate and transform.
That's a pretty big gamble.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, so if he draws Lightning Axe, let's say he just casts Magmatic Insight, pitching a land that he drew.
Okay.
If he finds Lightning Axe, he can. Oh no, that's not enough either. No, okay. This is bad.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking he could fork the Lightning Axes and then Fire Temper the Angel, but that's also 1 short. Fork the Lightning Axe on both creatures since the Militia Captain is a 5/5.
Well, the Angel's only got 8. It's got 8 toughness.
It does only have 8 toughness. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm great.
So axe each of them.
Yeah.
And then temper the Angel. That'll finish it off.
Yeah, off the Jace. So I think he actually just needs to not use the Goggles here. If you use the Goggles here, I think that makes it much less likely he's able to deal with both of these, since he does have to do a lot of damage to the Angel.
Well, there's one axe. It would have been in the top 2.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but
might not be over.
no, it's definitely not over. He has another. It looks like he drew Tormenting Voice as well. He's got all his mana up. He can still play a land too if he needs to. And I believe his draws were Tormenting Voice, Magmatic Insight, Land, Lightning Axe.
Okay.
And he still had a land in hand from. I think his hand was just 2 lands before the turn started.
Where do we go from here, Jameson Perdue?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I really dislike the using the goggles there, but he is, I think, in panic mode. Like he's under a lot of pressure here. He needs to find a way to actually answer the Archangel, but I think his best bet was just trying to find within the top 3 cards with the Jace Loot and with the Magmatic Inside, just trying to find an axe so you can fork the axe.
He's just got to get really lucky.
Yeah.
There's a Wandering Fumarole, pass the turn back. So Jace is going to be on defense here to block and then activate to transform. So
he could have Fire Impulse and Lightning Axe here for the Archangel.
Okay.
And that looks like that actually is what he's got.
Axe, discard
or
the
Rending
temple.
Volley as well. Looks
okay,
like.
that'll work too.
Yeah, dude, that was a good Tormenting Voice, it looked like.
Aha!
So we actually take 1, though?
Yeah, you got to take 1 from the Shivan Reef, down to 1.
Yep. So Max, if he has Eerie Interlude, could try to use it to save the Angel, but instead does not. All right, Jameson Perdue, 1 life. Here comes the comeback. Yeah,
Jace is going to transform here.
Yeah, he gets to flip the Jace. He gets to just cast the Lightning Axe from the graveyard off the Jace minus next turn, and then cast Chandra and tick up.
Somebody's getting excited.
Tick up! Man, this is a great game.
We got a bit of a comeback here taking place.
Yeah.
Oh, he's discarding Chandra.
What? What was his other card?
It must be pretty good.
It must be great. Maybe it's a Tormenting Voice. Maybe it's a Magmatic Insight. Who knows? 4 cards might be better than Chandra.
Well, all right.
No.
We're going to find out. We have a little scout down there. I think it might be Sphinx's Tutelage, perhaps.
No.
I would be shocked if that's in his deck. All right, down to 2. Oh, here comes Lightning Axe. I think he's going to discard a Draw Near Temple to this.
Seems reasonable. I mean, he could just pay full cost depending on what the rest of his hand is and not have to discard a card. And especially if his other card is a Magmatic Insight or something. That's the thing, though. Like, at this point in the game, Draw Near Temple is actually better in your hand because it's just an extra resource for you to discard to Magmatic Insight or Tormenting Voice over the next few turns, should you draw one of them.
Well, now I just want to know what the other card is.
Yeah. Looks like he's about to get frisky with a Wandering Fumarole.
All right.
It is a blue card. It might just be Negate.
Perhaps, yeah.
And maybe he just kept the he kept the Negate over the Chandra because he wanted to make sure that in a turn or 2 he has the Negate for a potential Eerie Interlude.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he has a 1 though. He does have Wandering Fumarole to block this Dragon Hunter, and he has a Negate as a means to protect it from Stasis Snare.
I think it is true, Chandra.
Yeah, Fire Temper not quite enough to deal with the 3 Always Watchings on the Dragon Hunter.
Yep. Jace is going to tick up, I believe. He's thinking about it.
Oh yeah, the Lightning Axe should have been exiled. It's fine.
Yep.
They were just fixing that real quick.
All right, there goes Jace up. Dragon Hunter a little bit smaller. Pass a turn.
Yep. Temper Negate here for Jameson Perdue. Going to be looking to trade his Wandering Fumarole for the Dragon Hunter.
I wonder if he's going to attack or not.
I also don't know. I think maybe not, because he may just want to try to flip Gossipmonger before he goes all in on attack.
I also just like the fact that if he doesn't attack, it's taxing Jameson's mana.
Right. And that could make sense, but that actually just gives Perdue the option to trade or not, since the creature has less toughness. That's not enough.
No, if Goggles, Doug.
Oh, Goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're smart.
Yeah.
You know how my deck better than I do. No, I'm just looking at all the moving pieces and losing track of the minutia. That's my B.
Jace up to 4 counters. Dragon Hunter still a little bit smaller.
I gotta say, it actually feels pretty good to just fork a Fiery Temper.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Just deal 6 to something.
Yeah, I forked a lot of Fiery Tempers this weekend.
There's Archangel ties again.
All right, that lightning axe is gone, and I don't think he has another one.
I don't think he has another one either.
If he has a land, he may be able to tick down and draw 4 off a Magmatic Insight or Tormenting Voice. And see, I think he actually has a Magmatic Insight in hand, and if he had not discarded the Drowned Air Temple earlier and just held it.
But he did just draw a mountain.
He did just draw a mountain, so.
Well, okay, he's got Rending Volley. That works.
Yep.
That's 8 damage. He's got 8 toughness.
With a negate backup, too, so he's
Yep.
safe from Eerie Interlude.
And yeah, that's very true.
Still has the blocker and Wandering Ephemeral, so pretty good shape here, I think, even though he is at 1 life. Hanging on by a thread, trying to dig his way out of it with this powerful Pyromancer's Goggles engine.
Will the Dragon Hunter attack this time?
Yeah, it is no longer shrunk from Jace, so it does have the full 5 power from the 3 always watching. So no longer gives Jameson Perdue the option on whether or not to trade. He does also only have 1 Fumarole in play at the moment, so any future creature that McVety may draw may be able to start attacking.
There's Wandering Fumarole. It wants to block. It'll be allowed to block. All right, they're gonna. Think they're gonna trade? Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. And now, Gossip Moniker.
All right. What do you got, Jameson?
Got a Jace. Jace is nice.
Not on 1. It is
That's not
significantly
great.
less nice.
Wandering Fumarole to draw.
It's like nice minus.
Goggles.
All right.
He's got Magmatic Insight.
Probably Fiery Temper here. Oh, no, that's just Magmatic.
So. Yep. Discard a land.
All right. Let's draw 4 cards. Isn't this fun?
It can be. Lightning Axe is one of them.
Yeah, Lightning Axe Temper. He's got a lot of damage in hand. If you count the goggles.
Which I do. How can I not? Jace is going up. Gossip Moniker a little bit smaller. He's got Axe as a safety net. Here is Axe right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's just going to pitch a random card. Ooh. I feel like he should have kept the Fiery Temper in hand because that, along with the goggles, can actually kill most of the creatures in McVety's deck. I guess he just wants to maybe try to keep the engine going, and he's going to have a blocker with Wandering Fumarole, so it's not that bad. And getting him to 13 could make it so that a Fall of the Titans or some such could just kill him.
Well, Max can only pass the turn back over to Jameson, so Jameson.
That's the dream. Untap with goggles, no creatures on the other side.
Yep, you get to have some fun now.
Yeah. Yeah, let's draw some cards, baby. Always, no. Always tap
Use the temple.
Drown Yard.
Yeah.
Always tap Drown Yard.
He's going to use a Tormenting Voice. He's going to draw 4 cards. Discard Magmatic Insight.
Yeah.
Lightning Axe drawn again. I think he might be pulling away now.
That's close. I mean, his hand is, I think, a pair of negates, a Lightning Axe, and a Rending Volley, and like 2 lands. So him having to pitch he didn't have to pitch the Magmatic Insight. Did we draw Chandra? Did I just miss it? He brought in Rise from the Tides. Wow.
Let's take a look at the old Rise. I did not expect to see this come in.
I didn't either.
All right, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield tapped for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard.
Can they just make up their minds whether or not they want zombies to be coming in and play tapped
Tapped or not
untapped?
tapped? Yeah.
It's very split. in Shadows over Innistrad, there's like 4 or 5 that are tapped and the same amount that are untapped. But yeah, so they're all a bunch of tapped Sandblack tokens against no board from Max McVety. This game could be over next turn.
And Jameson doesn't have to worry about any burn or anything.
Yeah. Ooh, Kithian,
A little late.
Not quite going to do it.
Oh, you're not scared?
Nah.
You're not scared of the Kithian right now?
Yeah.
And Perdue's going to attack with all those tokens to get the job done. So Jameson Perdue is going to win game number 3 here against Max
Look
McVety.
at that smile. That's what I wanted.
He's pretty happy.
Dude, mulligan to 6, game 3 down 2 in the quarterfinals of the Invitational. 18-year-old kid? Any 18?
Oh, he's young.
Yeah.
He's really young.
Just a kid. Look at that smile. That's what I want to see.
Blue-red control, mono-white humans going to game number 4. Our other match is doing the same thing. James Wager. I want to make sure I get that right because you just want to say wager,
You do.
but it's
because
wager.
Phonetically,
Yes.
on paper, it's wager.
Every
Because it's
time.
literally the word wager.
Every time I look at it, and I have to stop myself and say wager because that's how you say his last name. Big whites.
Maybe when he writes it, he puts little symbols over the G.
I find that unlikely.
I also find it unlikely, and I think that's just lazy.
He's playing big white. He just lost a game to Andrew Main playing green-white tokens, so they're going to game number 4 as well. We take a look at the sideboards here one more time between Perdue and McVety. We didn't expect to see Rise from the Tides. Now, should that card be in the deck? It did just win him the game.
Sure. I mean, it's I guess kind of like the third Fall of the Titans.
Ish.
Fall of the Titans would have just killed him.
That's true. That's true. Those zombies entering the battlefield tapped, though, man.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, sometimes you need some blockers, and he has Drowned Temple and stuff, so he could actually make like 3 or 4 zombies with it pretty fast and pretty early in the game, you know. And those could end up being, you know, the blockers he needs to stabilize so he can get behind his Chandras, behind his goggles, and start, you know, building up the card advantage and the engines and such. So the thing about the sideboard here with the Rise and the Tides, I'm not sure if it's good. It looked really good there, but any big swingy card is going to look good on an empty board.
Sure.
And that is exactly what Rise from the Tides is. Funny story, yesterday, I died to Rise in the Tides off of a brain in the jar during my instep. That was great.
Is that what derailed your Invitational?
Nah, it was playing Infect.
Yeah.
That deck is the worst. Not really, but really.
Well, while these two shuffle, we'll go over the StarCityGames.com YouTube page very quickly where you can find the replays of this tournament, all of our other SCG Tour archives, Versus Series archives, premium Magic Online archives, unboxings, and a whole bunch more. YouTube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of over 90,000 subscribers and get an email anytime new content is published over on our YouTube page. So, Game 3
you pitch
here.
Well.
Thank you very much. A lot of practice here in the booth.
Are you going to try out for the Cardinals? Because you're such a good pitcher.
I see what you did there. No, I hate the Cardinals.
Oh.
Indians, though.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy, because we're not good at all.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should have known better. You are from Ohio, yeah?
Yeah, well, I'm not home, but I'm basically home. I live 2 hours north. Now, we're going to go over your player side really quickly here because we see the 28 top 8s, the 6 open wins, 3 invitational top 8s, and 1 win, and all this stuff is great. Cali's great, most open series top 8s of all time, 29 Roanoke, all that stuff, whatever. You're in the booth for me right now. Best NFL Blitz player, huh? This is not a challenge. This is not a challenge.
No, sure.
Because I would definitely lose. You're going to have to give me a little bit more about this.
Okay, so long story short, my brother and I played Nintendo 64 a ton when we were around the ages of like 12 and 15.
Okay.
And NFL Blitz was one of my favorite games while I was in the arcade.
Okay.
I probably dumped, you know, my allowance every week into it.
Okay.
Only it.
Okay. Only game.
Yeah, so, you know, I played a lot of NFL Blitz, and so when it came out on Nintendo 64, I was just like, I have to have this. I'm going to play it every day. Me and my brother, super competitive. And it's not like we were, like, lazy bums. Like, we played a bunch of sports and stuff, but at the end of the day, you come home, hey, you want to battle some Blitz?
Yep.
Yeah, every day for 3 years.
Jeez.
Just at least one game of NFL Blitz. You know how many times I lost in 3 years to my brother who played as much as me? No. Just guess.
Well, I want to say 0 now.
Oh, no, it's like 5.
Okay.
Maybe, I think the actual number is closer to 13, but in 3 years.
So you just always won. So why would he keep playing it? It doesn't even sound fun.
Because he's a psycho, and being competitive was just what we did.
Okay. All right.
And it was great. But, yeah, I have a lot of reps of NFL Blitz under my belt. Yeah, game's great.
So if anyone were to, you know, maybe challenge you via Twitter, are you taking any open challenges?
Dude, they bring the console in the game. I'm in.
All right, fair enough. You want to challenge
also,
Todd Anderson?
we have to have stakes, and I don't mean as a wager. Well, actually, I mean both as a wager. You have to wager physical stakes as the stakes.
Ah, okay, so stakes are on the line.
Filet mignon.
Got it.
Yeah.
Stakes for stakes.
Yeah.
For NFL Blitz. Yeah, I've heard that there are combos that you know. I've heard some varying stories.
It's not I mean, so it's really funny. I actually play with my hands really weird on the control because at the arcade, it was just like 3 buttons in a row. But the way it's normally set up on the Nintendo 64, you're supposed to do it like a normal Nintendo 64 game with, like, you know, use your thumb as on the joystick. The trigger on the bottom of the controller is like the turbo, right? And then like A and B are like pass and tackle. See, I use B for turbo, I think. Yeah. And then, like, the 2 C buttons are my other 2 buttons. Like, left C, right C. Because I get to use my fingers, like, in a 3-prong.
Oh, okay.
Because that's just how they were at the arcade.
Ah, okay.
And I don't even use the joystick. I use the D-pad with my hand like this.
That's really weird.
Yeah, and I'm gas.
Yes. Humble, too, as we're underway. in game number 4.
There are very few things that I'm great at. NFL Blitz is one of them.
A Plains and a Dragon Hunter here for Max as he is underway with a 1-drop, of course.
Yeah, Shivan Reef actually a tough land to start here for blue-red control, simply because casting spells is probably going to deal him damage. If you have Mountain, you usually want to lead on Mountain. It looks like he has Wandering Fumarole maybe, and he just has a 1-drop removal spell that he wanted to cast. I'm not 100% though. Looks like he has some Lightning Axes over there.
All right, now if you're blue-red control, here is a Lightning Axe. He's going to have to discard something. Yeah, discard
Goggles?
I think so.
Man, if only he had 3 Goggles in his deck, he'd be significantly more likely to draw another copy.
I think he does have 3.
He has 2.
He has 2? Oh, no!
Yeah, he's got 2 Pyromancer's Goggles.
Oh.
That made me so sad. That was the only reason I brought it up earlier.
Here's Tormenting Voice discarding Chandra. 2 more cards on the way here for Jameson Perdue. Now, if you're blue-red control, how happy are you when the mono-white human stack misses their land drop?
Maybe he did it on purpose.
I would be shocked.
I am also not being serious.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm pretty happy, except my start is not super great. I've already 2-for-1 myself. I Tormenting Voiced away another great card. Like, Chandra and Goggles are both phenomenal in the matchup if you can make it that far.
Okay.
Also, having to pitch a card that's not the Drown Your Temple itself means that either his other land came into play tapped and he felt like he wouldn't have enough time, or he doesn't have another land. He might have drawn one.
Well, he's got an island now. I think he's still got a Wandering Fumarole, too. Well, there's the island, so we know about that for sure.
Yep.
I'm just going to pass the turn back. Just a couple of Dragon Hunters out here for Max McVety.
Yeah, very much need access to like 2 red mana from the control deck, mostly for just casting the card Fire Temper, but also the turns where you get to go Axe Temper are huge, and this is one of the reasons why I ended up losing to the mono-white deck in Baltimore last weekend, was because I didn't have access to red mana before like turn 5 in game 3.
It's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
It's going to make it tough to win.
Not great.
Now the White Orc is going to search up a Plains here for Max, so the mana troubles appear to be over. So that's good for him. Now he can play multiple spells in a turn.
Did it on purpose.
I don't think so. See, here's one of the things. I know when Max has a land or not in his hand because they're all white bordered and disgusting, so they stand out.
That's so mean.
It's unacceptable.
I actually love using all white bordered lands in the Versus videos because until recently, we've been playing with fetch lands for a year and a half straight or whatever, and no matter what format, and they're just easier to find. You know,
it does make it easier.
In this example, though, white weenie deck, white border lands, I think that's fine.
Fair enough.
Give the man a break. But he has taken 3 points of damage already from the Shivan Reef.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
Could be an 8 right now.
Yeah, Jameson's down to 5, and he doesn't have a land to play, and I think his tournament might be coming to a close here as Max is going to draw a card. See if he maybe has another Always Watching or a Thalia's Lieutenant to bolster that army.
He does have a Thalia's Lieutenant. He's actually presenting lethal right now from the Always Watching. That's 5 damage. But second Always Watching, if James Perdue does have an answer for...
He does. He's going to play a Lightning Axe.
Why did he tap 2 lands?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
A little surprised by that.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But there's a Jace off the top. Oh, he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet.
Yeah, I'm just going to say he is.
It's not looking good, if that's what you mean.
I mean, sure. I don't think there's nothing out in the deck. His only red source is a Shivan Reef.
He's not dead yet. There's a Thalia's Lieutenant. Jace is going to block. He's going to draw a card. Will Perdue.
He wants to take one from the Shivan Reef.
Fair enough. Max McVety is going to win this match here over Jameson Perdue 3-1. Mono white humans will take care of blue-red control, and Max McVety moves on to the semifinals.
Perdue there going out on his own terms.
You got to respect that.
Tapping that Shivan Reef.
You don't kill me, I kill me.
Yeah.